good morning to all of you, and thank you very much for attending this session. Welcome back to viewers that have joined us before, and a very warm welcome to new viewers. My name is Amanda Jenkins, and I shall do the presentation this morning. I've been with Silvalea for 24 years. So during that time, I've gained lots of knowledge on our products, their suitability. And this morning, I just want to share a couple of our harnesses with you so that we can talk about when we would use them, how successful they've been, and just share our knowledge. But please, use the chat to talk to us with any issues that you've had. We've only got a few. The session won't be long, but and I've had to sort of use my friends here. Very difficult with these little harnesses to have actual children, but I've got my colleague Judith who will help as well. But I'm going to start with a little, although it's not a harness, it's a little jacket. So that if we have a situation whereby you need to sort of hold or prevent holding, grabbing clothing, then we've got this little walk assist jacket harness. It's a lightweight mesh that you put on like a waistcoat. Judith, you kindly. So Judith is going to help me. It literally is a little lightweight harness with handles on. It was originally created for a youngster who had slightly unstable gait, and mum was continually holding her, grabbing her. So rather than do that, she asked if we could create something that would help prevent that, and we've come up with this little jacket here. It's got positioning handles here and at the waist there, so you can have 1, 2 carers holding there or there. So it is a simple little harness. We've provided it for quite a few scenarios now, children, young adults and elderly. So just to steady somebody who, you don't want to use it to lift, but as a steady. So rather than me having to hold Judith and grab her, then this is quite a useful little harness. It can be worn over clothing. There is a little expander zip here that you can close or undo if you've got thicker clothing on or jacket. So I thought I'd start with that, just as a simple, most compliant situation, so that you can see what's available. If there's any questions, please put it into the chat, and Rhiannon will mention it to me and I can cover it. So that's the first thing. Thanks, Jude. So going on to some harnesses then. So we know different sizes. Yes, everything we do will have standard sizes. So from extra small to extra large or extra large. Some little of the paediatric products might go down to extra small. 3XL. But there are the sizing guides on the website, which I will show you to help you with all the information you need for each product. So just to explain the following harnesses. So harnesses, we know, encourage lots of different things. Standing, they're very good for physio, feeling the feet, just getting somebody upright, which is massively beneficial for well-being. So we know, harnesses are encouraged where possible, but they've got to be risk assessed and suitable. But there is a couple of options. I'm going to show you our most popular ones and explain why. But the first one I'm going to show is this one here, the Rachel harness. And Rhi is just going to bring up the information that will help following the session. So don't think you've got to remember everything, because on the website we've got loads of helpful information here. So there's lots of photographs. This is in a little one scenario, but we do larger sizes. All sorts of activities. Underneath there is a instructional video. The video there as well on the left. What's that? That was there. That will just show you an application Sizing. So sizing there, you can see, I will go through sizing. So this is quite a tricky one to size. So come back to me, please, Ree. This harness, we may ask for extra measurements. So we do standard sizes, but certainly because of the nature of it, because it's a jacket harness with a groin section, the youngster will be sat in it. So to get the sizing more accurate, we might ask you for extra sizes, and then we will size it to a standard for you. But we will give you help on this one. But just looking at it, it is basically a lightweight jacket. It's made in mesh, and it's put on like a jacket, zipped up, and then you've got the groin sections here that clip in. Or if you have issues with contracted arms and it's difficult to get the jacket on, we now have an opening at the shoulder. So these clips here open up. Then you've got like a tabard. So you can slot it on like a tabard. So I think we've listened to feedback. Certain areas love these and they have had issues with the contracted arm. So the shoulder opening is helpful. Originally, this was asked for by a parent of an able-bodied toddler. So mum had limited strength to lift the toddler. And so dad would put the little harness on. And then when mum needed to lift the toddler into the buggy or high chair, she was able to then get him positioned to hook in these straps. So hook in the hoisting straps and then lift him into the buggy or chair. So it worked really well. So then we introduced it, and it's now really, really popular within special schools because the youngsters can wear them in from home. And then when they need to be hoisted or activities carried out at school, then the tapes can be applied. These are all detachable on a clip there. So it's quite useful for many, many scenarios. Are you okay, Ray? You've got a question? No. So scenarios it's being used for, it's, harnesses are great for encouraging standing. This one certainly for lots of floor activities, because you can leave it on. When you need to hoist, then hook up the tapes, and to encourage natural movements, natural patterns of movement, kneeling, high kneeling, standing. So rather than having carers' hands on, the little harness with a hoist can achieve that. So we know how popular that is. We have a question.
Could you use this for rehab for older people?
So for rehab for older people, then yes. I mean, everything we do can be used in many, many other scenarios, as long as it's risk assessed. So for older scenarios, you've got to think about, will that person like to have the groin strap? It's a groin strap, it's got to be fitted firmly. If you've got the right height with the hoist, it will go on a ceiling track hoist, it will go on a mobile as long as you've got enough height. So, yes, I can't say no, because we have made, thousands for different scenarios. So yes. There's another question. But looking at this one, I put it on here because I wanted to show you that it can be used with a mobile. And we've also learned that the harness, this particular Rachel harness, is really useful in schools, particularly if you've got someone that's sat behind a desk and they've got to carry out an activity. And if they haven't got good core strength, then you'll find that all their energy is taken up with trying to sit up. And then they've got to try and concentrate on sitting up and carry out their activity. Whereas the harness with a hoist position behind them, that can take up this support so that youngster then can concentrate on the activity without all their energy taken with trying to sit up. So it's really, a very versatile type scenario here. Was there another question?
Yeah, there's a couple. So someone's asked, can I just clarify that this harness is for hoist to support for hoisting to sitting, when pupil has some standing ability?
Okay, so harnesses are generally to stand. So they don't necessarily need full standing ability, because sometimes they just want to feel their feet. You know, we've made these and they've been very successful for those that can just feel their feet and they don't weight bear. So that is possible. I mean, it is still down to your risk assessment. You know, if you've got someone that's very challenging and they're going to be extending and wriggling, and, you know, it may be more of a challenge in that situation. But it was originally designed to lift somebody into a chair. So naturally, they're going to be lifted into a chair, and it worked perfectly for that type of situation too.
When does it not work for standing?
So when does it not work for standing? You'd have to establish that. You know, if you've got a scenario and you need it to try it or talk to us about it, we'd have to know all the details. I would, you know, it's been very challenging situations when you've got someone, you know, particularly the mobile, if they're very active, you've got to be mindful of the feet. But, you know, it's really basically down to your risk assessment. So we don't like to say, no, it won't work, because it quite possibly will. So, you know, it's all about balanced, proportionate care, understanding, you know, your situation, and helping you to see whether it's suitable. But,
can it be used for walking, and can it be used for full lift?
so it has been used for full lift, and of course it has been used for walking. I just take this, just going to take this wheelchair away and just take the dummy off. Do you think you just lift? Or you take the chair. Show you. I'll bring it further forward so we've got a bit more of a visual there. Beyond just touching. So in this situation, he's just touching the floor here. So you need to make sure, because you're going to get a lot of weight through the groins. If they've got no weight bearing ability, make sure you've got a good fit, that the groin sections are pulled firmly. If the harness is riding up like this, then it could be that it's too big. You need to get it down. This is where the measurements for this are crucial. So we need to talk to you about where to measure and maybe obtain a few more. But certainly, if we look at the back, so it's very smooth here. It comes underneath and then clips in here. So if you've got someone that is weight bearing and they can stand, you can then undo the clips to carry out a hygiene. So if they need to, you can walk them to the toilet and undo that. If they're likely to lose tone, then they are well supported. It's been used for hydro, lifting into the pool. It's being used for a youngster who attends a dance class. So they're just hooked up and they can just be independent and, you know, join in.
Walking frames, Matthew?
Yeah, so Jude's just said those going into a walking frame. So if you've got a prone stand or something like that, then we look at reversing these clips here so that the front is really smooth and then clipped at the back. So that if they're onto a frame, prone stander or a frame, then you don't have that bulk there. It does come with these tapes here, and these are hip tapes. And they can be clipped in. And they're there so that if we need to get your client into a prone position, then we alter the sliders so that then that can be hooked up and it will get them over a wedge or in a prone position. So if you've got something like that and you've got them wanting to be supported over a wedge like that or banana, then you can adjust these, tighten up these, take off one of them. It's all adjustable, you just need to find it. But there are there's photographs on the website over a wedge with a 4-point spreader bar, but it works really well on a 2-point as well. I've had that question, and I know we've got new images on a 2-point. So a great versatile little harness. Any more questions, Ree?
Is the key postural support at the trunk rather than the pelvis in standing?
Again, that's very it's an individual. This will give good support here. So it fitted, it will give good support and it comes through. It won't give hip stability. So this one won't, if they need hip stability or there's hip issues, this one won't give that. This one's more likely to, which we'll talk about that. So it is down to this individual situation, understanding it, and then we can help. We do have other harnesses, and there's one that gives maximum hip stability, which I can talk to you about later. But if you need to look it up, it's called the trunk and pelvic harness, and you can search for that on the website. It's quite a complex harness, but it's made of neoprene and it wraps and wraps and wraps, and it gives a lot of stability. So if you have that type of situation, we'll go through that at a later date. But look on the website if you need more information on that one. I think that's probably all I can say about this one. Is there anything else, Ray? But look at the website for more info, the images, the video, and if you have any queries, just come back to us. Any further questions, do you think?
I mean, they've got the underarm padding as well.
Yeah, there's padding under the arm.
So that will.
It's our most popular. So when we're looking at harnesses, it's one of our most popular. So we know it's successful and has been for many
and again,
situations.
The groin strap is all toweling.
Yeah,
padded,
everything's padded. I know often you won't know until you try. We do have a trial kit, and we are able to help as long as we know the sizing, which we'll discuss with you. And can, if there's one available, let you try, because it's sometimes something that you need to do that. So I'll just move this one out of the way. Rhea, I don't know if you can find the data sheets for the jolly jumper, because I think we need to look at that in more detail. So this harness we call a jolly jumper. It's very much like a baby bouncer, and in many ways this is much more versatile. You've got a high back and tapes going off from the top, compared to this one. So this one, if you've got a regular, somebody that hasn't got such good head support, they could potentially get tangled up. So not so good in that situation. And the tapes, they're coming off the front there. Whereas this one, you've got them coming off from the back. So much more freedom here for the user, but a bit more fiddly to put on, because opened up, Julie, if you hold those, it looks like this. So essentially you'd have to apply this on a bed or a changing table, whereas that type you can actually get on in a chair, particularly if you've got someone that's got a little bit of they can shimmy to one side and you can get the groin section underneath. So that one we know can be easily applied in a chair. This one you'd need to apply on a bed. So this comes up through the groin, and then you connect the side tapes through. Oops. And then you have to roll them to clip behind. So that straight away is a little bit more to do. And then you've got the shoulder sections that come over. And there is lots of room for growth with this one. So we know youngsters, tend to grow long, and you've got settings here. So as long as you've got the shoulder tape firmly over the shoulders, then this one is quite good for sizing. And then you've got these comfort covers that go over for comfort.
Just fed
through there. So it's a bit of a fiddle, as you can see. But the video, if we just go to the website, thanks, Jude. There's a lot of help here. Useful photographs. And you can see around the back how it's clipped in. And lots of freedom, you can see with the arms, there's lots of freedom there. But if we look at the data sheet, so every product we have has got a data sheet like this, and it'll give you approximate sizes, where to measure. So for this type, you've got to go from top of head to base of spine and round the middle, the trunk there, to work out the size. And then we've got a size of the actual product, an structural application, and a video. The video is really clear. It's really helpful. It will help with seeing how it's applied. Thanks, Ree. So that's everything we've got has got something like that. So it's really there to help you. The website has got many helpful data sheets, information sheets that you can download. So, please use that. If you can't find it, we'll help you. There's a question?
Yeah, is the length of the back support suitable for tall, slim adults?
Absolutely. So, this has been used for all sizes. Again, if you're standing someone, you need to make sure you've got height with your overhead tracking or height with the mobile. Some mobiles go higher than you can. This is quite a low ceiling. So yes, certainly we can shorten these tapes so that it's not so lengthy. But the back is very long. So Jude, if you just bring that one back, please. So as long as you can allow for the head being down here, doesn't have to be at the very top. So as long as you've got the shoulders straps over the shoulders, then you've got adjustability there, or there's a lower one. So for a youngster like this one, got room here, so room for growth, or even a smaller person. So you need to really make sure you've got the right trunk. You've got the good support here because you don't want it loose. And if the head support's up here, it won't matter. You've got lots of back support with the head support. So really is quite versatile there. Just thought of something and it's gone. But as I said, it's more of a fiddle to get on, but if you can picture it as a, like a baby bouncer, jolly jump, we call it the jolly jumper. We have been asked in the past whether you could put springs on like a baby bouncer, and it's a bit tricky. And I think we just would prefer just to put the tapes on, these adjustable tapes. I'm just going to take that out. But if you've got someone walking, you can see how the freedom is there with this style. I often think it's a nicer one compared to that, although that's very popular and quite versatile. I like the fact that there's no tape coming here, and you've got this really good back support. So it's wrapped around here to give really good back support. So you've got someone that's pushing back, then you've got that support there. There's full length bones here, and it wraps around the hip to give more hip stability. So like we talked earlier about that one, this one creates more support there and natural little handles there for guiding. So again, if we have a few, we tend to probably, the majority are paediatrics, but on the website there are sizes, I think, up to large. So you can see the size range if you need to consider it for an adult. Any more questions, Ree?
The second one looks to give better walking stance, whereas the first one seems to give a natural sat down position. Would this be correct?
It's just adjusted. These, I know, and I apologise, it looks quite clumsy with these dummies, but certainly you can adjust those to give a better. So on this one, if we want to try and correct this one's posture, you can adjust these tapes to give a better stance, tighten it. She's quite slumped there, but certainly everything's adjustable. So they'll both give good standing, but this one I gives better back support because it's firmer and rigid with these bones in. Another question?
And they can be tailor-made. You mentioned about how slender they need to
Yes,
be well. So
we do have a standard sizing guide, but yes, we can mix and match sizes, we can tailor them. So if you have someone that's very long and lean and you need it to be tighter, it's unusual actually. Those Rachel harnesses tend to often be tailor-made because you don't want them too big, and because they need to be fitted and make sure the groin section is firmly into the groin. Whereas this one, we tend to probably just do standard sizes. They tend to meet the needs of the majority. So, you know, but always talk, you know, if you find one isn't the right size, then we can help. Got another question? So we've had the Rachel harness there. So that's got its own little story and benefits. And the Jolly jumper here, again, its own story. But the last one I was going to show you is probably one of the most recognizable types of harness. And it's a standard walking standard harness. And it literally goes around you. So just put it around your trunk. Very easy to apply. So you can apply this in the chair and it just clips around the trunk. So if you've got someone that's got, you know, a lot of ability to help put this on, if they can lean forward, you would probably need reasonable tone. And this one, you know, standing tolerance, because there's not so much support with this one. So it goes around, okay, doing very well. And then you've got the groin section that comes through with these padded sleeves that just clip in. Quite a tape. Let's see if we can just hook it over here. I just want to show you it's attached to the hoist, so bear with me. I'll just take this one. Down there. And this, because the ceiling is quite low, just going to hook it up. So all the tapes are on sliders, so they can be adjusted. So depending on the height of your hoist. Just take 1 second. So we can see here. Okay.
Yeah.
That right. So this, I would say, is probably one of the most recognised types of standard harness. Very simple, but just turn you around, Jude. You see here, you've got the support there, and then do you want to lose tone?
Yeah.
So if Jude's losing. For this type of harness without the groin bit, you take your weight. But if I take those away and you've got someone that has potential to lose their tone, you're going to go right through. Yeah. So, you know, we always say, no, we can't do it without the groin section because of the potential. So it's surprising how many times we get asked for that. But again, if you've got someone that, you know, needs to just stand, feel their, you know, do walking practices, things like that for therapy, then the bottom section can be removed if you need to do a hygiene, walking to the toilet for hygiene. So it's possible, but then, you know, always put them back and adjust them. Okay,
Yeah.
Adjust them so that it keeps the top section down. If it's riding up like that, then it's going to be too high. Keep the top section down by pulling on these. You all right, Mike? On these webbing straps here. So these here, keep that down so it doesn't bunch up and cause a problem underneath the arms. There is some padding here. So again, on the website for this one, measuring for each of them is slightly different. I think for this particular one, the measurement would be around the trunk here. So you would need to have a look at the sizing. maybe underarm to waist. So we've got the right measurements there. The Rachel high is slightly different. I said I would ask you to give us some measurements and we'll talk through that. The Jolly Jumper, as you saw in the drawing, is top of head. So top of head here to base of spine. Base of spine is that measurement there, top of the bottom. If you're ever measuring there, that's where the measurement is, and the trunk. So slightly different for different styles. Question?
Someone's just said, is it a bit like a climbing harness, and how much height do you need above?
Okay, well, I mean, it looks, it's for walking, it's for helping someone needs to stand and support them. For therapy, they often use for someone that needs to, they're perfectly, they've had post-surgery, so standing, maybe just to get them back up for strength. Height, I mean, that's good on Judith. You just need to make sure you've not got the hoist in the way that it's going to, hit them or be a hindrance. So again, it's down to the individual. It does vary massively on, but you wouldn't want it. Let's just lower this. That will be fine, but you don't want it too low that, in the event that Judith will knock her head. So you've got to just apply some, common sense there with whether it is going to be suitable. Any other question?
Normally we wouldn't travel with the mobile hoists. Would we just risk assessed, or would we need a different type of hoist specifically designed for walking assistance?
Okay, well, that's a good question. It's really down to what transfers, what activities are being used. So if you can't use that, then often there'll be overhead gantries or tracks for walking. It depends on the distance. I think again, you need to risk assess for suitability, and just balance all the issues. What you need to achieve, and whether you can achieve it. Walking with the mobile, yes, it can be an issue because of the legs. If you've got someone that has got very unstable gait, then it's going to be a problem. So it really is down to your risk assessment. Any more? So it's just a taster. Are you okay, Jude? Just to highlight a couple. We do, as I say, have others which are more detailed, and if you know of them, or you'd like us to show you, we can do that at a later time. Was there another question that popped up?
Yeah, they've just asked, can you do a 180 turn with a CTH?
Ceiling track hoist 180. Do you mean what, turn round? Right round like that? Then that's, yeah, I mean, with this one, certainly. If that's what you're asking. Bed to commode, bed to commode, absolutely. But please, ask if you need. We do have some dealers and agents throughout the country that can help, or we can link up and do an e-assessment with you. So we can link up and do our own assessment to talk about what would be suitable and demonstrate with you and your clients. So we can help in that respect. We can help you measure. We've got a very good facility to do that via this medium here. So please, always come to us if you need further help. Are there any other final questions? Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. We do have many other sessions coming up. Please look at the website for the prospectus, because we cover other things as well. And coming up, I think we've got, amputees. So amputees, so we try and cover different situations. But before you do go, I have got a poster which I'd like to just share with you, because so often it's a little bit confusing as to what we do. And certainly we've got this poster which is at a glance everything we do that's on the website, and it will give you a quick view of other things in the event that you might want to sort of select a few have a session. You know, we're happy to deliver sessions to your group, your teams. If you think, oh, I need one of those, I'd like to have a look in more detail. So we'll send this to you. If you will get my colleague to email you a little form, a feedback form, and then we'll get the selected to you. But it's a great poster to print off. And if you're trying to create a selection, then it covers slings, different slings in their families of shapes, harnesses, stand aids, accessories, things like that. There is a whole line on popular paediatric solutions as well. So, you know, really, please, if you'd like this, then we'll get it to you. But thank you for your time. Thank you very much to Judith and Rhiannon for helping. And I very much look forward to welcoming you in future sessions. So thank you very much, everybody.